Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Thursday, December 15th. We're starting off today with the chart of the Russell 2K RUT. And what's interesting is the ass whooping that many of us have felt in small caps over the last week really is not reflected in the indice charts. It's pretty widespread, but just absolute decimation in a lot of small cap stocks right now. And the culprit is, of course, year-end tax selling. And what's like I was mentioning in the chat room today, what we are seeing or have been seeing over the last few days in the small cap stocks is something we have not seen for a couple of years. And actually, this is how it used to be back in the day in December. Small caps, mid caps would just get taken to the woodshed into the middle of December, and then we would start to see bottoms go in place and then big runs into the first couple of weeks of January. We got spoiled over the last couple of years. We had early moves, early bounces in small cap stocks and nice little Santa Claus rallies. That has not come to fruition this year, and it has just been ugly. And the sentiment out there and the pricing in a lot of stocks, where we are right now in the Russell, feels a hell of a lot worse than where we were just a few weeks ago at the October bottom. I mean, things right now seem more dire than they did back then before we went on that 20% run over the course of a month. So as you can see from here, even when things get really, really bad and you're about to jump out the window, it always ends up rebounding. Again, our trigger remains that 200-day moving average as a break on the Russell and actually across the major indices. If we look at the SMH, big sell-off over the last couple of days, not helped by the Intel warning, but again, we were able to hold that uptrend line, so there is some cause for hope, and we're looking at a possible golden cross on the SMH probably within the next week, unless of course we don't sell off. Dow, we were able to hold the 50-day moving average over the last 2 days. We did fall out of that rectangle formation we had, but we have been able to hold up. And, the market, despite being so crappy, the economic data out there, very, very good, continues to outperform. Of course, it's the same old with Europe still being spun negatively, although today we had news that Spain was able to sell more debt at a lower rate, which is positive, but you really didn't see any headlines about that. It continues to be about, the bad economy, even though the economic data is coming in better than expected. One thing to keep in mind, with all the crap going on overseas and the U.S. showing some hints of a nice little recovery probably taking place here, the sector that always benefits first on a rebound in the U.S. economy is the small cap stocks, the same stocks that are getting hammered right now. Typically, if we go back to the old trend, December 15th usually marked at low for many of these stocks, and they start to bottom out right about now and start to run into the new year. So while there'll be stocks that continue to see sell pressure over the next few days, you will see a lot of them try to bounce and run right now and really start to pick up steam after Christmas. So that is what we're going to continue to look for in this market. Quick mention on the 15-minute chart on the Dow. We're into a bullish falling wedge right now. Whether we hold up remains to be seen. We do have options expiration tomorrow, so we could potentially see more of the same crap that we've seen over the last couple of days. Random spikes, an emphasis on the large cap stocks, and some possible continued selling in small cap stocks. I won't even go into our plays right now because I really don't want to have to drink any more beer after looking at them over the last couple of days. It's been a brutal 3 or 4 days in a lot of our plays, but I'm going to continue to hold my ground here, and when the inevitable bounce comes back in these stocks, we should be looking at some very nice returns. This weekend, I'm going to send out another January popper list. I sent out that big global list a few days ago. I've got a more detailed pop scan or January popper scan coming out this weekend, so look for that in your inboxes. And again, if you've got any questions on any plays, feel any concern about positions, feel free to send me an email, feedback@buysellshort.com or .net. You know, it's been ugly. CYTR, we had positive data, stock down 30%. TRID down 25%. MVIS down 25%. Just brutal, brutal, brutal. You know, if I'd followed the notes I have in my calendar over the last 10 years, in big writing it says, don't buy small caps till December 15th. If I had listened to that, we would have been sitting pretty right now, going out and shopping today and tomorrow on some plays. As it is, we're a little battered and bruised, but, you know, I am still very, very positive that we're going to see a nice little return. And just as a side note, going back over the last 10 years, when we have brutal small cap sell-offs for tax reasons, like we are seeing right now, they tend to give very, very nice returns going into January. And just to show you how bad things are being, ANX had some very nice pumpable news today. And even with that, on record volume, the stock barely traded up on the day. So that should just give you an indication there are still a lot of sellers out there, but hopefully they are clearing out right now, and we should be in store, hopefully, for a nice little run going into the middle of January. So that is it for the video tonight. Any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.